This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So let's talk on further, guys, on this part. So we were talking about complete sharding configuration, and today we're going to see a lot of issues to understand how sharding actually work in the background. We've seen how do we configure, but we need to understand how like the chunks migrate, how this splits will happen, all that. So I'm going to do manually to make you understand most of the stuff you don't do to just for understanding purpose. I'm going to do a lot of things today because you need to get the fair idea what it is kind of. Then let me connect to each machine. If you understand the replica set, you can easily understand the sharding. Why? Because sharding sits on the replica sets. Ultimately, it's just a logical thing. Physically, all are replica sets. It depends on. Uh, if you look at this is also a replica set, and this is also a replica set. This is also a replica set. The problem here, what happens if config servers are down? The reason could be two servers are down, and this went into the read-only mode. You can read, but you cannot write at that moment. And if one of the shard is down, like two nodes are down, one will be there, okay, but it just will become a read-only last secondary replica. So that time the data will be returned to the other node automatically. Does not stop writing the data. All the data will write to available shard. When this comes online, it will sync the data automatically. We will see that also scenario based wise. But underlying things what you need to understand, if the sharding have a issue means it has a issue on the replica set. That's what the conclusion here is. If you know how to resolve the how to work with the replica set, you know how to work with the sharding as well. Sharding is one-time configuration. If this set is done, make it online, it will pick up the config. Nothing else you have to do. You already did things in the background. The only thing is we had to know in and out of replica set. That's why we spent 4 classes, 3 classes on how Mongo is configured and how it works. Mongoose. Yes, Mongoose actually it does not have a data directory. What it has a directory is a config servers. Instead of data directory, the data is coming from the config servers. If we look at that config file, which I sent yesterday, right? I sent to everyone that file, sharding configuration. I quickly show this. Let me download and pick up this. So if we see, like Mongoose config file, what do we kept in the Mongoose file basically? We did not keep the data directory at all. Then how it is actually getting the data? So this is a Mongoose file. The data is coming from the sharding. Whatever the data it is reading from the sharded servers, the config server. Whatever is primary, it will read from that because that is why we included all the 3 servers. It will go and contact the primary server all the time and get the detail out of it. Again, config will get the data from all the shard servers. That's the link we have here. So let me explain on this one. See, Mongoose is reading the data from all config server. Config is what it is doing. It is contacting both the shards and getting the consolidated data. That is a link we have between these actually to see all the data. Is it clear, Birit, your question?
Yeah, that is clear, but the confusion is like there are two Mongos, so how it is been distributed or how it is been selected?
See, actually,
Are they
what are
going to work parallelly together or what?
parallel? Yes, you see, you just pointed out a mongoose. Here, you told this one, just go and get this one because everything is similar here. There is nothing different. Mongoose wise independent, and you're asking go and get the data from the config. Everyone has the same configuration inside the config file. As long as it is point to same config file, it will go and get the data. If you see, we have the mongoose on this one. If I start the mongo, it will connect to the default to mongoose actually. Show dbs. The dbs will be shown whatever are there on the physical machines. Now, if I wanted to connect one more mongoose on the same server, I can connect. That also does the same job. You can do from work, from both the mongooses with same job. There is no difference in terms of work. Mongo port 27018. Other mongoose port is 27018. This is also mongoose. Whatever I do from here, whatever I do from there, there absolutely no difference. Both are same because they are pointed in the config file. I have only changed when I configured the this mongoose. What I changed for the mongoose only except the port, nothing else I have changed. This directory log directory, that's it. So physically, both are pointing to the same config file, same config servers. So these mongooses all are equal from any server. Why we are making different multiple mongoose servers? If everybody hitting one mongoose also need to scale with the connection requests in the background. These servers are capable of doing serving lot of requests. Why? Because multiple servers giving the response. This is just a router, it doesn't do much. This is where the data we are getting. We are just hammering one mongoose, it is not going to help you out. Again, we are doing the load balancing. Some applications will hit this mongoose, some application they will hit this mongoose. Ultimately, they are getting the same data there. But here we are load balancing the connections with the help of the mongoose. Is it clear?
Yes, got it. Thanks.
So mongoose is like a load balancer, you can say. Why? Because we can point n number of mongoose servers as long as like your environment is okay to give you the multiple mongoose services. There is no limitation on the mongoose and single replica set can point to. That's a great thing we have actually, right? This is very great thing, like to load balance through the mongoose especially. Let's move with the step by step issues, guys. Yesterday, we have seen up to adding the shards and enabling the sharding on database level. That till that part we have covered up. Let's do the, like enabling the collection level sharding. Sharding is a collection level technology. It's not a database level technology. It's a collection level technology. So we need to identify. You do everything from the mongoose only. You never do in the backend servers. Sharding commands does not work from the replica sets. You have to do from the mongoose only. That is only is the allowed area from which you can trigger the things. Okay. If you don't trigger through mongoose, config does not know what you're trying to do. It will become a like a local issue on the machine. Anyway, I'll talk about that. Just try to follow. Use a DBA database. This is where I created some data, I guess. So collections. Okay. So right, EMP. That's where we loaded some data, right? DB dot EMP find and count. I guess 50 records we entered, right? Yes, 50. So now, if you wanted to read this data, there is a field called ID where I'm going to impose the index on that one. So I was saying in the slides also, you have to pick a field. That field should be easily divisible by the sharded key technology, basically. See, if I use the index key on this one, I cannot make it unique. Why? Because names can be repeated. If it is a repeated record coming again and again, the sharding efficiency will come down. Why? Because it has to divide the data equally, but there are two fields are matching with the same. So number of records in the previous chunk and the current chunk may change because of the identity is same. So it is always recommended to keep the index on the numeric values and use that numeric value field for the sharding. That's what the highly recommended fields for using for sharding distribution. It does exact even distribution if you go with the numeric values. It's a text values, it will accept. The problem is like if it is matching, like there is Ravinder and Ravinder, it is ending record. So which has to go to the next chunk, which has to stay in the current string. That's where the problem will come basically. When it has to distribute the data, the numbers are very efficient in terms of distribution. We always use What if you don't have a unique column, unique record in a collection? You must have it. You must have add some value at least. Like you just add one number for identification of the collection basically. Without that, you cannot do the efficient sharding at collection level. Numeric value must be added in if you don't have it on the particular collection, you add it for the sharding purpose itself, not for the business purpose. That way it is. So if you don't do that, you will have the consequences. That's the problem. So that is the reason. The reason you must add this one is just to even distribution of the data in the background. So now, first thing is we cannot configure the sharding on a field without index on it. Either it should be a range based, it should be normal index, it could be hashed index. Anything, just when we are creating, that is where this actually starts. If I wanted to create an index, when I'm creating an index, instead of hashed, if I keep it one, it will create a normal index. Instead of one, if I keep it hashed, it will create the hashed index. That is only the difference, nothing else. But anyway, it is the developer responsibility to go with the hash based sharding or range based sharding. It is a collection level. One collection can go with the hash based sharding, one collection go with the range based sharding. They can do based on the situation where they are reading more, writing more, they are aware of it. As a DBA, we don't know the collection, why it is purpose and what kind of data they are dealing with the collection. We don't know. We don't go that far as a DBA. We know what is the data is more, where is the data is more, that's it. And we say that if it is not sharded out, we will easily find it out. How do we easily find it out? I'll tell you in the next steps anyway. So now I'm creating an index on the ID field first. So if I was trying to do this yesterday, like shard a collection DBA EMP, this is what exactly the collection we have on the DBA database. When I'm trying to run this one, we are in a DBA database, right? We must be in DBA, right? So now if I'm trying to do this, it was saying clearly that please create the index that starts with the proposed shard key. You must either create a range based key or else normal index or hashed index, whatever it is. That only difference comes here, this one. And also try to keep the index field unique. Don't allow the duplicate values there. ID must be unique, right? Anybody is following the ID must be unique. You cannot issue the same ID to two people because there will be like security issues if you follow that. The same way, the numeric values what you're trying to supply to the shard key must be unique. If it is a unique, it does a even distribution. See here, in order shard a collection, in order to come on, grammatical mistake. Okay, in order to shard a collection, we must create the index and the field which are going to add to form a form sharding and a collection index field. Okay, I did not make much sense in this statement. In order to start a collection, we must create the index and the field. Okay. And the field which we are going to form sharding in a collection, which we are going to add to form the Do you understand this statement? If you understand, well and good. In order to shard a collection, we must create index on the field which we are going to add to form the sharding in a collection, which is fine. Looks good. The recommendation would be to create the unique index to impose on a shard field so that the sharding distribute equally in all nodes. So that is what the unique must be given. It's a recommendation. Even if you don't give it, it will accept it. But the better thing is try to keep it unique so that data distribution goes in the background unique. So I'm creating the index. Before I create the indexes, show collections. We know this already. emp dot get indexes. We have only one index will have by default, which is called default index. Now we are creating another index called what happened? Just a minute, not copied. We discussed all the indexing, guys. We came from all of that already. Now I'm creating an index on the ID field. So what it is saying, if it is said okay, it is done. It is done, as simple as it is. Now if you say db dot, sorry, the previous command itself, get indexes, what it is said, operation timestamp, Did I mention hash binary key ID? Created index is created successfully. Okay, it takes some time, I guess. Where the heck it is gone? Hmm. Show the index. Oh, where did I create? I created a test. Do we have test already? Come on. I should create on the EMP. Test is also there. Okay, fine. I should have changed this to EMP actually. I did create in another table and another collection trying to verify another collection. Okay, that's what the mistake I've done. Fine. Now you see get indexes. You should get that index. I mean, instantly. I was wondering why it was not showing quickly, kind of. Good enough. This is something we have the indexing now. Now this collection is eligible to enable the sharding on it because we created the index on it. So now what I'll do, I'll quickly just run this one. I sent this document already, guys, to all of you. So now if I run this one, what it does, before I do it, sh.status. Let's do this one. This is something very important to understand. Sh.status will tell you a lot of details. Not this is where you understand how the sharding is actually doing it, how many collections are sharded, how many databases are sharded, everything you can see it here. And we have a lot of reporting collections in the config that also I'll explain. Today I'm going to make most of the sharding issues. Just try to follow. See guys, here it is telling that we have two shards, two mongooses right now, and auto split is enabled, balanced is enabled. Migrations in the last 24 hours, no migration happened, no chunk migration happened so far, and only DB database is partitioned. You have one more database lab, but it is owned by SSR2, but it is not partitioned yet at the moment, right? And we sharded one collection. Where is this shard key? Okay, it is sharded that config database system sessions in the config database. Right now, we're going to partition this database, which is our DBA database collection called EMP. As soon as I do it, it will display the details. So let me do it now and see the output. Come on. Just read the output, then you get the point what I'm trying to make here. If I'm trying to run this command, it is going to enable the sharding on the collection. As soon as it enables, it is enabled. If said OK, it is executed, which means that. So now what I'm going to do, sh.status. Now you understand this output first. We got, see previous case, if you see, config.system sessions was sharded by default. That's how it is. Now, if you see now, there is one more collection got sharded. What is that sharded? dba.emp. Balancing is true. Sharding is this one basically. And how many chunks we have? Only one chunk right now. And what is the min key means minimum value and the maximum value. Minimum value 1, the maximum value is also 1. 1, what it is saying is all the content, all the values of that collections are sitting in one chunk. The chunk is this itself. One chunk we have right now, only one chunk. But how do we going to see how the chunks are going to be migrated? We are going to split it manually. We cannot generate 62 MB text data now. It takes quite a long to load 62 MB text data. So I'm going to play with the existing data itself by splitting the chunk manually. You never split, but there are commands to split basically. sh.help, if you see these many commands we have on the sharding, I'm going to explain all the commands. sh.help, in the sharding, look at these are all commands exist, that's it. We don't have other than that any other commands in the sharding model. We have seen adding shard, add shard, we have seen already. Adding two hosts we added in using the add shard itself. Okay, and add shard to zone, I never use this thing. Key range, this is also I never used. This is all not required, I never seen this. Disable load balancer we're going to see, enable load balancer we're going to see. enable sharding DB and collection name just now we have done. Enabling the sharding and collection level, and get balancer status we're going to see, and move chunk. These are all we're going to see, almost all the commands except few are we don't use it. Zone and this thing, remove shard from zone. Zone concept I never seen, guys. It is something a tag. They'll keep a tag. Zone one zone servers will take the read, other zone servers will take the writes. Something they define. I did not work on that level. Anyway, I never seen that. Nobody implements the zone concept anyway. First, let's check this one, guys. sh dot status. Try to follow how sharding work in the background. Then I'll come to the issues. Okay. I'll come to this document and I'll make you understand. Okay. Here, there are two functions we have. If you look at sh.help, when you see, there are two functions have been given: disable auto split, enable auto split. This you never do it. Where is this split? Right, this is the one. Split it and split find. There are two functions to divide the chunk what we have already. You never do manually, but it is given. You can divide the chunk to demonstrate how sharding works. That is the reason they have created this. In the real world, we never split any chunk manually, but this is something good for us to understand how sharding work manually. Okay, so let me use that functions to make you understand. Clear the CLS sh dot status. Try to follow from here onwards. I'm going to make a lot of situations here. First understand how it works, then we can go with it. So now if you see EMP, like a collection on the DB database has one collection which is sitting on the SRS2. And if you go and see on the physically, let's go and connect to the physical replica sets. Oh, which one is secondary? Just a minute. I'll check. Seems like it's not. Which one is primary? Primary is 278. Okay, Linux 03 127018. So I'll take off the session. Mongo port 27018. I'm trying to connect to the primary. That's it. And this one, Mongo secondary. Okay. Checking the primary and connecting to the primary. You can find the primary from secondary anywhere. Basically, primary is, oh, here also 27018. Good enough. So let's make the connection to that one only, because you need to understand and physically also what's going on the physical nodes. Now you see show DBs. How many DBs we have? DBA and lab here. Here you don't have those databases. You don't have any user database right now. Only system database are there. Now I'm going to like move a chunk or split a chunk. Then database will be created automatically as a DBA, which account will be used in real time, like SA. See guys, we discussed in the security. We create one account. That account will have a root privileges. The root can do anything. You create one account yourself that will have a root privileges, like SQL DB in SA privilege in SQL DB that we discuss in the security, right? Root privileges. As a DBA, you'll have a root privilege in the admin database that is equivalent to SA and SQL Server. That's clear, Guru, your question? Clear, right? Okay, good enough. Right, so now try to understand this very, very important point again. We're going to talk physically and the SRS1, the first replica set, we don't have a database called a DBA. Here we have it. Now I'm going to split the chunk. I'm going to split the chunk. So we have two functions, guys, split it and split find. Let's use a document now. So first split find, split it. Split find is going to, I have written the note also for this. This is not going to, split it is going to divide the value where you are trying to supply. Split find is going to divide the chunk equally into two parts. What I have written, split find will split the collection equally if a condition is matched. Okay, good enough. Split find, we'll use a split find. All right, let me tell you this. Anyway, so if I run the statement, what values we have in the collection? 1 to 50. if I'm trying to run this one, there is a command split find. It is going to find a DBA database EMP table in it. If it finds it, if it finds this collection, again it will try to verify this ID. ID is 8 exist in the 50. If I run this, it is going to divide the chunk into two equal parts if the value is matching. So now sh.status, let's see. It will create two chunks and the one chunk will also migrate, I guess. It is migrated the chunk also. One chunk, see, now this is where you need to understand. When I split the chunk into two parts, it it formed the two chunks now. 2 minus 0 difference is 2. It is automatically balance the one chunk to other replica. See, try to understand. Before, I was not seeing the DBA database. Now you will see the DBA database. It is created automatically because it is moved the data to it. Use DBA, show collections. You'll have one collection only, not two. Why? Because only one started collection. db.emp 50 of 25 records will come here. So 1 to 20 and see 25 records 1 to 24. Okay, 24 will start on the next one itself. If I go and see this was not having a DB database in the initial state before I split the chunk, just system databases. When the chunk was split and the chunk was migrated, automatically it is created database and it moved off of the data here automatically. Are you guys following? Say something.
It has split at 25. So how come that sequence broke? Like 25 and 24 is not.
That's a good point. Actually, 25 is, like here, it will keep the starting value of the current first chunk to the next chunk. That is a problem with the Mongo. Last record of the last document of the collection, it will keep in the both the chunks. That is the reason it moved up to 24, not 25. Let me show that here actually. We can see the chunks, how the chunks are having the data. You can see it here. If you see, ID min key and the maximum key is 26. Where this is showing is minimum is 1, maximum is 26 on this one. And the second chunk, if you see, ID value is 26 and the max value is 1. SRS2 is holding, SRS2 holding 26 to 50 basically. This is holding 25. Actually, it should show 25. Why it is showing 20? Just a minute, let's read it again. 25 it should show. 24. The value 26 it is saying is 25. It should show here and there in both the nodes. It might take some time to reflect that or what.
And another thing, if you look at sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, even
Mm.
4 and 5 are not in sequence.
That's how I loaded the data, it seems, because it was not in sequence when this got loaded. See, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, it takes some adjustments automatically actually. 1 2 3 5 4. 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Is it because of this name is same? It is fully automated, nothing you have to do.
But
You
it
don't
is
have control.
but it is going to be irrelevant, right? Because we have an index on ID column.
Yes, that's correct. What you said is correct. But if you see, the rest are all in sequence except this. So, but here one case is forming is Uday is common. It does not depend on this field, but
On 24, 25, there are different names, Uday and Pradeep.
hmm, but they are in sequence as they are not forming the same name in
No,
for
no,
the.
no. But ID is not in sequence, right? It's a 25 and then 24.
Oh, 25 it is came actually. Okay, that is very confused. Good enough. Okay. 24, 25. Okay. It is moving off of the data. That's we need to understand. Okay, I would have done this count instead of that. Right, 25 records are here. 25 records on the primary, but primary it will show 50 records for now. It takes enough of time to take the acknowledgement whether the data is moved or not completely. DB use dba db.emp dot find count. Okay, so 50, it is still showing 50 records here. Why? Because it takes time to that load balancer is moved the data, target is received. It takes 2.5 minutes acknowledgement. I guess there is a lot of time. It's not instant basically. It takes 2 to 2.5 minutes to get that acknowledgement. Okay, data was successfully moved to target. And if you see this status, you will see that number of migrations, one success. One chunk is migrated in the last 24 hours successfully. And if you see the deba.emp has a two chunks, one is on the SRS1, one is on the SRS2. So now I'm going to divide this chunk again into further to make things more meaningful for us. So I'm trying to split now. If I run as it is the same command, which chunk will split? It's a question. If you understood previous one, you should answer this one. It is going to split it equally almost. 25 are there, so 13, 12 it will split. If you don't have equal values, not divisible value, but which chunk it will split? That is a question.
Linear
First,
0 3. First.
first SRS1. Why? Because this 8 is falling into
125.
this one. So now if I run this one, it will split it again, and the SRS1 you'll have a two chunks. You'll see that. So SRS.status, you see the two chunks here, and here 1 to 13, 13 to 26. Like that it is formed. Okay. So like that it is splitting the chunk. Now difference is only one. If I split again, which chunk will split now? Again, if I run it, which on the SRS1, it will split on the SRS1 only. The range is following SRS1, but there is first chunk and the second chunk on the SRS1. You see this SRS1, SRS1, SRS2. If I run the command as this, which chunk will split again?
First one.
First one, because this 8 is falling in that range. So now what happens when you do this? It will let's talk about, see quickly, 3 1. It takes immediately that load balancer will detect the difference is 2, then one will move to other one automatically. Okay. It will take some time, but it will move automatically that extra chunk, because 3 minus 1 2 difference already formed, so 2 2 it will become 2 2. Come on, it's not, it takes the call immediately. Wait for that to happen. Heck, it should do that. Load balancer. Just a minute. Wait, load balancer is running, right? Okay, currently running. Yes. So okay. It is doing the job. So it is triggered. Currently, load balancer is running. It should be. It is generally false. It is running, which means that it is looking for the. It is detected this status. Okay, if it is running, it will move the data. It's running, but how long it takes to move it? If it failed, it will write the number of chunk failed to move in story. But if it is running, how long it will run? Sure, not on that long. The heck? It's not good. Definitely not good. This should not take this long. Just a small chunk of data. Why it is running actually then? It should move the chunk automatically to here. You don't need to do anything. Why this is just running? Currently running. It's running. It should do the job. Come on, it is sleeping or what? Stop the load balancer and start. It does the job. If it's stuck or hunger, you don't do, but it does the job. It takes time, but it does the job for sure. Start the load balancer and stop the load balancer. You should find it. Right, load balancer. Don't stop it actually. We never stop. I'm just doing it because it's just saying that it is keep running. That's not good. Come on. No, this is not good. Shall do it. Stop the load balancer, stop the balancer and start the balancer. SH dot, stop, come on, stop. First is load balancer is running. We can is balancer running. This will say true, means it is running. Stop the balancer. Oh, come on. As it is running, it won't take this call or what? The heck it is doing now? It should do the instant job actually. That's what is expected. Okay. It's another one, right? Balancer currently enabled, no, but it is still running. The heck, huh? We disabled actually. Currently running, yes. Mhm. It's not good. Currently running, it's doing the, it's saying only one chunk is moved. Why this is running? Disabled, we have to, it got disabled. I stopped it, right? Not disabled. The heck it is saying. Oh, what it said at the end? Time dot code is this network interface exit time. Then let's see. Something happened to this or what? Now I'll start load balancer. Okay, said it should clear out the issue most probably, I feel. Okay. Topping. Okay, guys. Let that be there. Anyway, it will pick up for sure. So now I'll try to create one more chunk on the same one. 7.8. Let's run the same command and see it. Is it really going to do that? Could not acquire the lock on the db.emp to split the chunk. Cause timeout. Oh god. It's not even splitting the chunk because it got hung. Why this process got hung actually? What the split? We're stopping, not disabling, right? Why when we stopped it? Just a minute. That is what the function of this. Come on, message dot help. We are stopped it. Stop the balance to chunks are not balanced automatically. Ah, that's okay, but stop and start. What the stop and start is disabling it. Start the balancer so chunks will be balanced automatically. But disable the auto split. Thus disable. Just a minute, guys. Disable load balancer. Do we have that? We have this. It's a collection level, not the complete level. No. What we have to do for this? Do we have to restart the mongooses? It's not moving it and it's not even letting us to split the chunk. It's not good. Should not run like this. When the chunk is moved, it should go no. Currently running yes, but stuck with something. What is that? Collections with active migrations. db.emp started. And 733, the load balancer failed in 5 attempts. There is no failed cases, but this got still running on this collection. It is running. Why it is not moving the collection? Strange. Anyway, I'll try to come in a different direction. Let's split on this one. 1320, right? So I'll try to split on maybe 40 value. Let's try to do it. It split that side. Status 2, 3. Again, I'll split with for 40. Then 3, 3. Oh, it did the migration now. No, it did not. Too successful. Okay, now it caught up now. Currently, no, it's not running. It's a good thing. So now, if you see, it was moving a chunk. It took quite a long to move it. That's something it was hanging up for some reason. Now 2-4 difference come again. It will move the 3-3 automatically. No need to worry. Come on. It started running again. Why the heck it is taking this long? See, previous case, load balancer was not running, and it moved two chunks actually. It was in the process. Actually, after this split, after this split, it should be 3-3. But the first it was triggered the load balancing, and it is under progress. It is moved one chunk to SRS1 to 2 actually because we split on the one, right? So now it is started doing again. It should be 3-3 because difference is 2 minus 4. 4 minus 2, 2 is difference is there. So it should make it 3-3 actually. Why it is running this long? Not good, huh? From where it is running? Started at 7:42. A minute ago it started the load balancing again and just hanging there. Mm. Oh, come on, why it is doing like this? It should not do like this. If I try to do 40 split, it won't let us to do, I guess. Again. Split you cannot do, but all modifications allowed anyway. Split, it is not letting us to do because it is under migration. It is already started. Difference it is detected. 4 minus 2 becomes 2. It is picked up one chunk to move to here. But for some reason, it is taking time to move the chunk basically. That is where we are seeing this lag.
Is it
Okay, let's
so in error log?
error log also it won't write much, I feel. Let's good point you brought up. Let's look at the error log. It'll write in the Mongo events. Any error log. Could not acquire the log split chunk caused by timeout waiting for DBA EMP. Okay, I ran the command, so that is what it is saying. Split chunk ID collection shard key. Where this is actually. Let us look at this. What's going on? Still just dropping all pulled connections. Refresh for collection DBA from version to version. This is okay. Sharding connecting to this. Split chunk key portion. Epoch time and ready could not acquire the lock on split chunk caused by timeout waiting for DBA EMP. Refresh for collection. Nothing much meaningful we have here. It is locked for splitting for now. Why it is, you can do the modification absolutely on Mongo, you can do the modifications. Let me show this. Use DBA because you see all databases from here. Show collections. DB dot, it will show all the data, right? Where we got hung actually, let's see. On the SRS2 we got hung, right? It is only saying still too successful for some reason. What I'll do just quickly, just a minute. I'm testing one other way around. I'll make the SRS values to be split out again. Maybe that can wake up this process. 15. Let's make it 15. This 15 is also locked. The heck it is saying? SRS1. 15 is sitting on the SRS1, right? And both the things it started the lock. Lock busy timeout. Cannot split there and here. It's not good. 20. 20. Now let's use a split it. Is it going to do anything extra for us? Split it. It's going to split at the exact value what you give. That's the difference between this and that. I just wanted to make you understand how the migrations work. That is the reason I'm splitting it out. You never split the chunks at all. I'll split this 13 to at 20th record. Let's try to do it. What it says. Database not, oh come on. I have to use this DBA. The problem with the load balancer, why the heck it's just running forever? Maybe some reason, guys. It's just start doing the job and not finishing it up. Stop load balancer. You never stop it, but as it is giving the problem to us, I'm trying to do. The discussion goes very easy if it moving the chunks quickly. For some reason, it is hanging out on the balancer. This actually, fraction of seconds it will trigger. It will see the difference, move the difference of chunks, and then go currently running no. It will become no. Why? Because move the chunks whatever it has to move. Load balance is going to disable mode. If you see currently enabled no, currently running yes. Though it is disabled, this got stuck with a running that load balancer. Let's start from here. What it says. It's really going to do something. It started it saying. Okay, let's do the SH status. If it is stopped and started, it should release the lock. I feel let's do this. Split it. Not it release the lock. Split at 30, 40 something. Try to do all this. It will resolve on its own, I feel. If you have to do this, what you can do to stop this, you can stop the mongooses and start the load balancer will stop and start most probably. But anyway, you never see this kind of issues in the life. I'm working a day-to-day basis in my life on Mongo, but you never do the manual moving. Actually, you need to look at this all the time. Failed balance rounds last 5 attempts. In the last 5 attempts, how many actually failed to move? Zero, basically. So it is not failing, but it is just keeping the lock for it started at 7:42 and it is roughly 9 minutes ago it's triggered, but it's still running. It should not run that long to move one single chunk. There is difference like 4 minus 2 2. It will start move one chunk to here because 3 3 it will become to that we have seen, right? 1 to 20 the difference is only 2. 20 to 80 difference is 4. 80 above difference is 8 between the shard to shard to migrate the chunk. This is actually getting bad. Anyway, if this is not doing the job, then what you need to understand, guys, you don't split the data, but for understanding purpose only, we are trying to do it. Absolutely, understanding purpose only. Split find, if wherever the value, whatever the range you are trying to split find, it will divide the chunk equally. That is what it is written already. Split find will split the collection equally if a condition is matched. Two equal chunks. Split it will split the collection at the exact value. If you run the split at example like this at 20, 20 is falling under which chunk? If you see 13 to 20, this chunk will split into two parts automatically. At what value? 20. 13 to 20, 20 to 26. It will divide like that. At exact value what trying to ask basically. It's not even released the lock yet. Why it is holding the lock is I'm not getting it. It should not hold the lock this long for sure, as far as I know the system, the Mongo. It is what it is waiting on actually. We don't see any great values or meaningful log in the instance as well. Sharding, split chunk, split at SRS1 key pattern zeros, epoch value is this. Shard versions read object ID is this. Minimum, maximum, split keys 20, failed, caused by lock busy, could not acquire the lock for collection. To split the chunk caused by timeout waiting for the DBA EMP. Which kind of scenario we are split the chunk? We never split the chunk. We never split the chunk. These functions are given just to make you understand the system. Manual splits, you never ever do it. The system will do it when it reaches 64 MB. This each chunk becomes 64 MB, it will split automatically and it will load balance automatically. You don't need to worry about that. But here I'm just doing manually just to show that how things work in the background, how chunks will migrate between the physical node to physical node, here to here, how data is getting moved between the nodes basically. So that's what you need to understand. That's where I am trying to focus to make you understand the chunks are migrating it. Right now you have seen two chunks are migrated so far, but some reason it got hung at 742. That is where it is not moving the chunk. What is the reason? I mean, we could not find the reason. It's not good. Okay, 40. It's not letting us to do on the SRS to SRS1 at least 10th record. In both the cases, in both the side, it is locked. Why it is both the cases? It is locked. I'm not sure. Now it will allow you to do update. It is absolutely fine. Use DBA EMP db.emp.find. Just one record I'm trying to update. Maybe 20th record. 20th record I wanted to make it to instead of Ramesh. Let's do it. db.emp.update. The condition is ID 20 and the set I wanted to set the value as name to sample villain. It took the modification. So user end, there is no lock. Where is the lock actually? The lock is for the moving the chunk. Why it is locked actually? Just because of the load balancer got hung. for some reason. It just started at this point. It is not leaving that status yet. It is just keeping the data is moving at the moment. It kept the data on hung status for the movements basically for some reason. Anyway, it should not happen. It should not happen like that. What do you need to understand, guys? The conclusion of it is how the chunks are moving. How the chunks are moving when the difference comes between the, like 2, if the chunk count is for a single collection less than 20, it will try to balance the data by keeping the difference of 2, maximum 2. If it is 2, see here it is 3, 3 is 2, it will not migrate and this will not run. But the difference is come to 4 minus 2 2. It started but it is not moving just because of it is hung. But anyway, it should become 3 3 here automatically. 3 chunk 3, and SRS1 3 chunks, SRS2 also 3. Why? Because difference come has like 2 2 and 4. Next 3 3 it becomes, it is split one more one, then how many it will become? 4 4 3. It won't migrate because only difference is 1. So like that, it look for this gap and keep migrating the data between the shards. How many shards you have? Between all the shards, it will migrate automatically. Are you guys trying to follow? Say something. Followed, not followed? Anyone? Say something. Right. Oh, it is did. It did the job now. It did the job. See now, currently running. No, it took quite a long. What reason it took quite a long? Here I did not understand. It should not take that long. It moved the chunk. See, previously we were having 4 2. Now it moved the chunk to 3 3. You see this? And total migrations have done so far 3 actually. 3 chunks are migrated. Okay, let's split it. We'll see split it. Split it actually what it does. Split it will split the chunk exactly the value what you're giving it. Split find, if the value is finding in the range, that chunk will equally divide automatically. You don't need to give the value where it has to divide. It will equally divide into in the middle. But split it is not like that. It does. See, if I run this one, split it dba emp id 10, it is falling on this one 713. So this will make srs1, this chunk will become 2 7 10 10 13. If I run this one, you will see that ss dot status, see 7 10 10 13, and srs1 you see the 4, right? If I do one more time, the load balancer will run. It might hang again, I'm not sure, but anyway I'll try to do it. If I go with the 5 7 7 10, right, I'll make it 8. I'm making very bad chunk ratio here, but anyway I'm just showing just to make you understand. I'm doing all of this. Again it split. So now you see the status 5 3. The load balancer will trigger automatically, but how long it is going to take, I'm not sure. That's not good. It started. See, it started. Thing is, it should move the data right in the next second, but it is not doing for some reason. Just 7:59, it's triggered. In the next 1 second itself, it will move the data. But anyway, whatever it is doing, it is moving the data, but quite a long. What we are doing, what we did is, if you understand this split at function, just quickly, 1 minute I'll spend on that, not too much. We know this. If you understood by this now, what did I do? Where I do? Come on. Status here also. It went very right. See guys, if you see, I given split, it means exactly the value where it has to split. There were 7 13. I given split it 10. So then this number is falling under this chunk 7 13. So 7 to 10 one split. Okay, one chunk. 10 to 13 another chunk that we have verified just right after it. So 7 to 10 is one chunk and 10 to 13 another chunk. Then immediately I split it 8. 8 means what? Tell me which chunk will split and how it will split. 8 means 7 to 8, 8 to 10. That's how it is going to form. 7 to 8, 8 to 10. It is formed the one more chunk. Then it is become 5 and 3. The difference become 2 and the load balancer triggered. It was before no, but if you see it become yes here. and it is yes, yes, and forever. I'm not sure why it is taking just long. Come on, it's still running. Anyway, wait for that to happen. It will happen. For some reason, it is taking time. But in the live, we are working in and out the day and the sharding. I'm working on it. It never takes that long. It's the next second it will reflect the data. That's fast it will be, basically. Maybe my configurations are low, that is why it is running low, I'm not sure, but it should not take time. Next fraction of second it will migrate the chunk. That's fast it will be. Because of the server configurations, maybe there could be problem like with the amount of RAM I had given to the system, but anyway, it should not take this long. You will see in a while, this will become 4, this will become also 4. Difference come 3, difference is 2, right? You started the migration on its own. We did not trigger the migration. It detected the difference and then started it. So overall, you got the understanding or not? This is what my question. How sharding is moving the data, how it is balancing the data, you understood? Yes or no? People are silent. Understood, did not understand, say something please. What happened guys? So silent. It is also 25 at the moment. Physical node having the 25, 25. So which means that 25 records on first, 25 records on second. It's not yet migrated. Yes, thanks for the response, Brian. So this is what is migration. This is how the sharding works in the background. And if you see sh.status, sh.help, we have we have done add help. We know that add shard we have done, and this you never do it. I never did it as well. Shard to zone concept is something different concept. Disable a load balancing. Don't ever do this. Disable, if you disable it, it never do like migrations anymore. You never, that is not at all an intention. You're sharding a collection, you wanted to disable, it's never been intention generally. Enable the like load balancing. You don't trigger this command for sure. You never enable the sharding for database name. First, we enable the sharding on the database level. We use this command. Get load balancer state. What is the load balancer state? It will give you nothing else. So get load balancer state. What load balancer is doing? It is true means it is running. Get load balancer status. Is load balancer is running? It is just enabled. True means enabled. This is means it is running or not at the moment. Is it running or not? True means it is running. It is ongoing. The load balancer is running. That is what we have seen, right? The load balancer is stuck. Stuck means it's just running. Here itself we can find that. The same output using that function. Come on. Is load balancer running is that one. Move chunk. You wanted to move a chunk manually? Yes, we can move it. Let that finish. I'll move it. I'll move a chunk if that is done the job. What the load balancer has to do. Still running. Once it is finished, I'll try to move it manually. How can move a chunk if we really wanted? Okay. Remove shard from zone when we did not add, when we don't remove it. So this also we don't see it. Shard a collection we just seen. Split it we have seen. Split find we have seen. Start the load balancer we have seen. Stop the load balancer also we have seen. Sh.status every time we are seeing it. Disable auto split. Don't ever do it. It will never split the chunk. It will become very huge chunk. If it is crossing the 64 MB, if it becomes 70 MB, it will not attempt to split the chunk at all. It has to see, if example some reason the auto split is running all the time. If example you disable it and it got disabled for some reason, this one auto split, where it is auto split is running at enabled at the moment. If it is disabled some reason, if a collection becomes more than 64.200 MB, it never split the chunk anymore. It will keep the chunk as it is and load the data in the further chunks. That will called a jumbo chunk. If auto split is trying to split a chunk, it is errored for some reason, system got rebooted at that moment itself, and the chunk is actually, when it is trying to split it, it is failed. That chunk also, it will never re-attempt to split the chunk. There are two conditions. split, the chunk will become a jumbo chunk. We'll call it as a jumbo chunk. Jumbo chunk will happen if the auto split is disabled and the chunk size went beyond 64 MB and it never attempt to split the chunk anymore. It has to be below 64 MB. Whenever it reaches 64 MB 0.200 KB, it will automatically split because it knows the growth. Because it went beyond the chunk size, it does not care about the chunk anymore. It will be there as it is, and that chunk is called as a jumbo chunk. And when existing chunk also, it is trying to split the chunk, it got error for some reason. That chunk also, it will never try to split it. Only one attempt it will do. One attempt. Second attempt, it never do on the same chunk. Those chunks will be built as a jumbo chunks. Jumbo chunks will also get migrated if the difference comes, but they don't split into the smaller chunks. That's the big problem. Jumbo chunk also will migrate here and there based on the balance it is making it. This if this is finishes, I can move one chunk and then show you that move command kind of. What left? Disable chunk, you don't never do it. Enable auto split, disable, and if you want to do it, you can do it. We will do it. Let's do it. But don't do it. I don't recommend this. Disable auto split. The heck it is saying? What it is saying? Disable auto split on a collection. Oh, you had to form the collection. Don't do it then. If you wanted to do it, we can do it, but I don't recommend doing this. Okay, don't do it. I'm disabling the auto split on the EMP. So auto split, if you see, when we are seeing the sh.status, balancing is true for this collection. Auto split is true. Is it showing anywhere? Anyway, I'll try to trigger this. What it is saying, config is undefined. Okay, use config for this. dba config.setting is undefined. What it is saying? Disable auto split for this one. Maybe we have to run this in config. That's what it's saying. Config. Disable auto split for this. What it is saying, shell sh.7 type error, config settings is undefined. There's something must be done, I guess, for that. No need to worry, we don't touch that for sure. I mean, I'm working last 5 years on Mongo. I never did that, which means we don't disable the split or enable the split for any reason. Get auto split returns whether the auto split is enabled or not. Oh. Anyway, you don't need to run this command. It is showing in the rs.status itself. It's not running. Auto split. It is false. Auto split, no. Was that worked? You have to play with these functions, guys. Auto split, no. Switch.help. Is double enable it. Enable the auto split. This is going to do the job. Right. It is disable enable is happening. It's working at server level also. sh.status. Now it will be enabled. Or else you can go and do this one. Checking it. Just checking the status of it. Nothing else that is doing. It is true means it is running. You don't need to run most of the commands. The commands output is coming from rs.status itself. It is giving a lot of information to us. So if you see number of active mongooses, number of shards we have in the shard, and load balancer status and the auto split status and load balance currently running at the moment, total 3 chunks are migrated so far. And if you see this id underscore dba got partitioned, but you have one more database called lab, it's not partitioned. SRS2 is not got partitioned. We did not do this partition on the lab database. So if you wanted to go to use config, this is where you find everything. So this is very important, especially show collections. That is all about sharding, guys. You know, like how it is moving the data. That is what I have shown. Show collections, use config. Come on. Why I'm doing this? Not required. Show collections. If you see these many collections are there in the config DB. These collections will create when you enable the sharding only, else they won't create these many collections. Basically, CLS. Let's show collections. These many collections will be there. If you see what are the databases we have, db.databases.find. If you read this one, it is going to tell you that these many two databases we have in the sharding. One is sharded, one is not sharded. This is where you find what databases are enabled sharding, what databases are not enabled sharding. And you wanted to see the collections, what collections are enabled for sharding. This will give you very useful information for us. How many collections are sharded at the moment? If you see db.emp sharded and the config.system sessions sharded, two collections are sharded basically. Only this will give you the sharded collection details. Other shard, whatever the collections, other collections are there, they are not sharded. See guys, this is going to show all databases that you have it. Let me create one database. Show DBs, we have only two user database, so that is what is showing two. I'm creating use, what database will create? Cloud, db dot db.test.insert, just to make the database entry, that's it. This number, it got created. Now where it is created, sh.status also will tell us. sh.status also will tell us where we created cloud database, RSR2 basically. If you see physically, go and show the show DBs, you don't see that database cloud. Where it is created on the servers, so DBs and the SRS2 cloud, and that is what it is showing us. When we are looking at the cloud database got created on the SRS2. If I'm creating more database, let's see, use what do we call class 10 database name, db.insert, db.test.insert one record. Now show DBs. Come on, not show DBs. You see class 10, where it is created again. So sh.status. You can find this class 10. Class 10 got created on the SRS1. So it is randomly creating. If I go and see physically on the node, show DBs, class 10 as a SRS1, but not on the SRS2. Because it is load balancing the databases also when it is loading it. If you feel like you have more database on one chunk, you wanted to move the uncharted database, also can move it. That also will see quickly. We are in the config database. So use config, show collections, db.databases.find. What are the database we have overall in the complete on all both the. Hmm, hmm. So now if you see guys, you know, two databases are actually on this one and one database is on this one. Let me create one more database quickly just to make you understand. This is a simple technology, db2. Okay, db.test.insert again. I'm inserting one record to make the entry. If you don't insert at least one record or one collection, you don't create, it won't be show us. Now let's see where it got created. Okay, use config to see that. If you read this one, where it got created, db2 got on the SRS2, but most of the database on the SRS2. It seems like it's not load balanced well. I wanted move one database from here to here. Can I move it? Yes, you can move it if you wanted. There is a small command for that. I'm going to talk about this with scenario, no worry. We can move a database if you really wanted. Okay. If I run this, what database we are going to move? I wanted to move SRS to SRS1, the cloud database. Cloud. So before and after, let's see physically. CLS, show database. Do we have a cloud here? No. Here we have cloud. I am moving physical complete database, unsharded database to from here to here because the shard is did not load balance well all the databases. I wanted to move it. Yes, we can move it to balance it manually. I'm running this. Come on, what happened? Should not take time on this one. When you are moving, balances and everything should be up. That is not up, it will be a problem. Can you hear me? I lost the power connected through mobile. Can you guys hear? Can anyone confirm quickly? You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, I
Okay,
can hear
fine.
you.
Good enough. Thank you, Santosh, for the confirmation. Now, what I was doing, I was trying to move a database. It is said okay. It is said okay. See, it took time, but it said okay. It is moved. If I go and see which database we migrated, let's see to where SRS1 from SRS2 cloud database. So SRS1, you see the cloud database. Cloud database is not here. You'll see that database here. Cloud is here. When it is moved physically, you don't find there because it's not a sharded database. So cloud, before the cloud was there, it's not there anymore. Physically, it is moved. So now if I read the database now, two databases are on this one, not partition database. Two databases are on the this one. This got load balanced now. But this database lab DBA database is on the SRS2, SRS1 as well. But the actual ownership of the database sitting on the SRS2 only, not on one. Database, this database exists in both the servers. If you see, DBA is here and DBA is here on the both the nodes. But the actual ownership of the database is lying on the SRS2. That's what this means. Is it clear? Say something. Clear or not? Why people are so silent today? Right. Anyway, let's conclude this. Split date and split find we understood. sh.status also we understood. Move chunk. I am just waiting for this to do the move chunk. And I'll keep the configuration as it is for tomorrow. If it is not, oh, it is moved. See, it is moved the chunk equally 4 4. Now load balancing is not running. I wanted to move a chunk. You never move it, but you wanted to see it. As we have this command. We have this command. I was saying that, right? Move chunk. It is move chunk here. Okay. You never do it in the real world for sure. CLS sh.status. I'll conclude the sharding mostly today. We had 10 minutes. I'll maybe tomorrow, if not today. But anyway, I wanted to move a chunk. How do I move a chunk? Let's quickly talk about that. So load balancer is running. False means it is not running. Okay, move a chunk. Let's do this. Let's here database name is DBA. Okay, so I'll change the command anyway. So which chunk I wanted to move, where? I'll tell you before I run. I want the starting value. You have to give the starting value. Here SRS1 4, SRS2 are also 4. 26th is on SRS2. 26th where the starting value. I wanted to move to SRS1. 26. Try to follow this. You are moving a chunk, you never split, you never migrate manually, you never do it, but it is all understanding only. I'm doing all of this. There are functions given to make you understand. They are not given to do the migrations manually. Basically id 26 and where I wanted to move, it is on the srs2. Move chunk to srs1. I'm giving it. See, the 26th chunk starting value it will pick up, it is on the srs2. Now I'm saying it to move it to srs1 by force command move. There is a problem, guys. That is why it is taking time. It quickly come up. Now you see the ss.status. You will see the 513. 26 was on srs2. Now it is on the srs1. It moved a chunk. Again load balancer will run because difference came to. It runs. We know that it is going to run forever, quite a long time. It will detect total 6 chunks migrated so far in the whole after the Mongo is up. See, it is migrated back again. Good enough, because difference came 5. If you see, come on, it is migrated there itself, right? 5 3. In the next moment itself, it is migrated back because the difference came. Which chunk is migrated again? It can migrate any random chunk. This one is migrated to, this one is migrated to, this one is migrated to, and this one. So now I'll move again one quick chunk. Maybe starting value SRS1, I'll move it to 2, 10 value. This is very in detail course, guys. Seriously, no one will talk this level of sharding. They only talk about the things, but this is something you need to catch it up with. See 5 3. It will detect that difference. So now 7 6, we moved manually, that became 7. It will move again. Let's see, maybe it does quickly, I guess. Oh, come on, previously it did quickly, right? It is running anyway. It is running. If it running and hung, we cannot do anything. It hung, it seems. If it runs properly, it balance. Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. Sorry, guys. So let's see. It's not yet mode, but it is running. It hung. It went to the hung status again. Let that go. We cannot do anything. So now, see, move chunk and id value is your starting value of the chunk. That is what I mentioned. When it is moving, you're giving the value. The value what we are supplying in the move is the value of the starting value of the chunk. When you are migrating, you never move a chunk in the real world. His load balancer running is running or not. We've seen this one anyway. Quickly, if you wanted to see, let's run this. I need 10 minutes extra today. It is running. Load balance is in the progress. Load balancer state is enabled or disabled. True means enabled, false means disabled. You don't disable, but you wanted to verify the statuses. That's it, nothing else. We have all these commands in the sh.help, and I was saying all of that. Okay. And then stop the load balancer. If you wanted to stop it, you can stop it and look at the status and start the load balancer. We have seen this also. Stopping the load balancer, it took quite a long time. Anyway, if it is stopped, it is taking time like this. But when we check from here, it is stopped actually. Show sh.status. Load balancer status, no. But I'll start again. The start is like this. You don't stop it, but you need to know the command, importance. I'm starting it. It started. So now it'll come with it. You will see the status anyway. Get load balancer status. Let's look at this. When you start it, it will become true. See, true. This got hung still. Right. Next, print sharding status. This is unofficial command. It is not there in the help, but this is also we use it. It's like sh.status equivalent to sh.state, nothing much. It's giving the same information what sh dot is giving. Print sharding status and sh.status is same. So it is undocumented command. sh.status, print status, both are same. So you don't need to worry about that. Just information only I kept this command. And what are the databases are sharded? Use config db.databases, all databases you find, and what databases are sharded, what databases are not sharded. It will give you what collections are sharded. Use config db.collection.find. You find all the collection details which are sharded. This is also very useful. The last scenario we moved is this one. Last scenario in the sharding. Sharding does not have too many issues to talk about. Sharding has the issues on the replica sets. Sharding is running on the replica sets, guys. See, example, this is a replica set. It is not able to, Mongoose is not able to contact config server because config servers are down. What are the config servers? Are replica set. You make the replica set is up, it will pick up automatically. And if the data node is down, replica asset is down. You make work on the replica side. Everywhere you work on the replica side. Sharding does not have anything. It is logical. Sharding is completely logical. You kept this, like the config servers into the Mongo config file. That is why it is reading all the configs. You added the sharding through the command. It knows how many shards it has basically. It is a logical. Physically, this is a replication data. This is also a replication. This is also replication. So sharding is a logical configuration on top of the replica sets. So whatever the issues you face it, physically you're going to face on the replica set, not on the sharding. Sharding is just a pointers, just a logical entity. You guys following? Say something. Don't keep quiet. Following or not following? Sharding does not have too many issues to complain. The complaints are on replica sets, absolutely on replica sets. Goes in that direction. If you know all the replica, what we discussed, all the scenarios, troubleshooting sharding is simple at the end of it. So now this is what it is, guys. If we never create a database on the physical nodes, you never connect to the physical nodes when you have this mongoose. You never do it. Everything you do it from the mongoose only. You never do it on the physical machines, because if I create a database here, it will create on the local. So it will not do the load balancing. So when you create from the mongoose, at least it will try to create on the one of the node where it has a less databases. If you really feel that database are not fully load balanced, you can move a database if you wanted. That we have seen. So now situation is one more last scenario to wind up this sharding. Nothing else we have in sharding to talk about. Only understanding how it is splitting the data, how it is moving the data, and all that. And added the shards, we have a scenario. We personally seen this. I mean, I wanted to just give that and run that scenario. I need 10 minutes time. So you have one replica, second replica, sharded. This is sharded. So third replica, fourth replica, fifth replica, like this. So what we have done, we did 5 node replica set in the pre-prod, and the production also 5 node replica we had basically. So what happened in the pre-prod, we locked a lot of resources for 5 node sharded replica to test, to verify how things work. In the beginning, we build 5 node replica sharded cluster in the pre-prod also to verify everything, how things are moving, how things are they wanted to analyze. We added 5 node sharded replica, but at the end when the production is deployed with the 5 node sharded replica, everything is going well. We don't need 5 replica in the pre-prod. You're wasting a lot of resources if you do it. So we wanted to remove a shard from the once it is configured. We wanted to move. Data is already sharded, collections are moved already here and there, but still you wanted to move or take out one shard out of it. That's a big scenario. You will definitely see in the production also. When example, we are running with 5 sharded. maybe a lot of data got deleted because one client went out of support, and you don't want that old data at all. You clean up a lot of data, then lot of data means lot of data is gone out of the system. You don't need one shard anymore. Why? Because to save the resources, less data, less shards. We don't want 5 shards anymore. Previously we had a lot of data, but all the archival data we deleted. Now the servers are offloaded. When the servers are offloaded, you don't need a 5 sharded replica, because each one is having the physical disk, RAM, CPU, and everything. You wanted to claim it because you wanted to migrate and then claim it. This is the situation. Removing a shard, adding a shard we have seen, but removing a shard is also equally important task for us. It will come. It's a major task, especially. So now let's work on how you can remove a shard if you wanted. This is the last scenario in the sharding, and in the sharding is going to be finished with this. If you can have any question, I'll talk about and then finish it off anyway. So now let's see this. Use config. So you can tell me what I wanted to remove. I'll do that same thing. db dot databases dot find. Which shard you want me to remove? 2 or 1? Anyway, 2 is actually owning this database, and if you see 1 have some databases, let's remove 2 better. This will make more good scenario. Why? Because this is a sharded database. DBA is a sharded database, and it is owning it. It is owning it. See, if you see DBA database here and there in both the servers, but ownership is given to SRS2. DBA database here is there, here also it is there, but ownership is on the SRS2. Now I completely wanted to remove the SRS2 server because I don't need it anymore. So I have written every step that you need to know. Remove the, see, before we remove the shard, to remove a shard, balancer must be enabled before we remove from the shard. So balancer is going to move the data here and there. If you stop it, don't try to remove it. It must be verified that the balancer is running. If it is not running, don't try to do this activity. What is the balancer? Is this balancer is actually enabled. It must be enabled, then only try to do this. Next, the first part you have to take it as a prerequisite, and it's a note. To remove a shard, balancer must be enabled before we remove a shard from the cluster. Okay, balancer should be enabled. How do you know balancer status? Using get balancer state. That's it. Using this status, it will tell you that. Next, remove the shard. Use admin and remove the shard and give the command, this command. It is going to delete. So it is simple, very simple, but it is something, it is not immediately move the shard. You have to take the monitor, you have to do the monitoring, especially. Use admin, or else instead of that, I can run from anywhere. Though I'm config, I can change the command to admin command instead of run command. I can run from anywhere. Okay. If I run this one, what it does? I want to remove the shard SRS2. That is what our discussion, right? So if I run this one, but SRS2 has some database. I wanted to move all user databases from the SRS2. These are all user databases, right? But this got sharded. This database is EMP table is actually on both the servers, not on one server. Rest of the database are easy to move, but not this one. So anyway, we'll see that also as a scenario. Give me 10 minutes. What happened? Did not copy it. I'll take out your questions. I'm not finishing today. If you have question, I'll keep the things. So I'm running this. When you run this, you need to drop the or move the databases. These databases you have to move. It is saying that. Anyway, draining started successfully. You keep running this command. It will keep saying draining ongoing at the moment. When you do the sh.status, it would have moved that started. Come on. See, 4.4 is there, right? What it is saying, so when you run this command, what it is saying, these are the databases you have on this one node. See, when I wanted to move this shard, it is saying that you need to drop or move these databases to primary. Drop or move primary these databases. You have these databases actively on the shard. You remove them, then only I'll remove the shard. It is clearly saying that. So if you go to this one, you have 3 user databases. Okay, one sharded database and these two are normal database. Let's move the normal, then we'll talk about this. I wanted to move. How do I move? It is so simple. This command is that's finding the database, each database. See, finding the status of the data migration. Again, we need to run this one. Which one? If you wanted to know what is it really moving or not, we can run this. Draining is ongoing, which means it is doing the activity. Anyway, though it is doing, it is saying that to you, you also do something. What that something is, move these databases physically, ownership to the other server. Let's do it. So where I have to move database, move, where is the database? Move, here it is, move. I have to move the databases, ownership. It is very simple, very simple. So first I'll check this one. Use, I'm in the db config, db.databases, or else you have the database list here itself, what to move. You don't need to read from there. I want to remove this shard. This shard is owning these databases, move it to the other shard. Come on. Whatever you highlight, that will get copied. So now, okay, it is good. SRS1 only. The database is DBA. I have to move the DBA. One by one, we'll move it. You can see that it is moved. Let's see that then sh.status. It will move all the chunks to the SRS1 because it is moved. The sharding collection. Oh, it started 3. It was 4, 4, and 5, 3. Anyway, it does the job. If it is not doing it, it will not let us to delete shard anyway. This is running at what time it is started? 8:37. It just started. Total 9 success. 9 chunks are successfully migrated. Anyway, see, it is moved. Every chunk it is moved to SRS1. So SRS1 server does not hold any chunk at the moment. It is safe to remove. The sharded data completely moved from here to other shards automatically. It will equally move when you have more. We have only one, that is why it moved everything to this one. Now you see that every 8 chunks, previous case 5, 3, SRS1 having 5, SRS2 having 3, these chunks are already moved to this one automatically. Now what left is for us, if I run the same command, it will tell you this again, remove shard. Now 2 databases are left, you have to move. So again, I'll run this command again with the lab. As long as you don't take out all database ownership from this one, it is not going to let you remove anyway. So as it is moving the databases, you started seeing the database disappearing here. Show DBs. You had DBA, it is gone. And what database we just moved? It is okay, said lab. Lab also will be gone. Lab is not here anymore. DBA, DB2. Okay. So again, if I try to run this one, remove shard, it will tell you what database again you have to remove. DB2. So show DBs. Why this DB is still showing it? Anyway, you don't have anything in it. It moved all the data, it seems. Let me check this. Physically, it did not keep any data. That is what its system is saying anyway. Do we have any data in it? Should not. Anyway, it is there some data, but it is moved. The data is copied to over to there. That is where it will give okay. If not, it won't give you okay. If you go and read on the first one, use DBA, db.emp.find 50, and we need to have 50 records here. See, 50 got here. So we are safe to remove, though it has some data anyway, the sharded data. So now I'm going to drain again, remove this one. Sorry, remove shard. It is still saying that you have to remove this one. It is so simple. One by one, you have to just take it out. What it is saying, you just follow it. So informative move. DB2 also a mode, and you don't see that DB2 anymore here if it is mode. Your DBs, it is also mode successfully to here. So now if you see here, all databases are here now, not here anymore. So it seems you did it everything, all databases you moved it, and you see this from here also, db.databases.find. All databases on the system are owned by SRS1 now, not anymore SRS2. So now if you run, when the complete ownership has taken, you remove it, it will remove automatically. Remove shard completed successfully because no ownership, no database ownership is there on the shard. All data is migrated to the other shards. Is it clear? This is very important activity. Configuration is important, removing is important. The rest is actually all issues that you see in the replica sets. This is what you need to know on the sharding. Any questions anyone want to ask, let me know. This is all about, these are all reporting queries. These are all manual things what I did: split it, split find, checking the load balancer, stopping the load balancer, and auto split, disabling and enabling and all that. We just kind of just checking it how things are working out. We never do that in the real world. We never splitting and all that, only sh.status, all that. So I'm going to send this document anyway. You have to just do what I'm doing, what I did. That is going to make you understand what is sharding. Sharding means what? Distributed computing model. It is moving the data to multiple servers, but where on which it is moving, on the collection what you have chosen for, not for all. Replica set is something server to server. Sharding is not like that. Collection level, enable a database level doesn't mean that it is enabling the sharding on all collections. You have to enable it collection specific collection level. That collection data will migrate. And how you pick up that collection based on the size of the collection. Size collection is too big, then go for it. Is it clear? And moving a database also we have seen over a time, you see that more data, non-partition database are more, and on one shard you wanted to move it to other shard, you can move it. Small command, that the move command is included in this activity itself. Moving a database from one shard to another shard, physical database, non-sharded database, you can move it. Is it clear to all? Say something, yes or no? Yes, 8, 18, yes. Is it okay to close? Tell me. Anyone have any question? Please pick up your question. No questions? Okay, then I'll stop the video.